As-Salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ever since the inception of the artificial state, carved out of As-Shaam by the colonial powers with the collusion of local wannabe rulers, its history has known wars, occupation and corruption. The constant in all of this has been the political corruption of the inept political rulers, looking after themselves and looking after the interests of those who pull their strings. Like all the other artificial states in the Middle East, they have proven beyond doubt that they are failed states. It is a failed European project to destroy the Muslim world and to recreate it in her image. But let me tell you what the real tragedy in all of this is.
French President Emmanuel Macron has just touched down in Beirut. According to the Elysee Palace, he will be meeting the Lebanese President Michel Aoun. There you can see.
All around him, desperate and furious voices shouted out for reform of a rotten political class which they claim is responsible for the blast.
But the real disaster in all of this is the European powers that created these artificial states installed inherently weak leaders to look after their interests, feel that they can re-enter the crime scene as if they had no part to play in it. The outrage by the local people in Lebanon shouldn't be just at the political leaders in Lebanon, but also their handlers in London, Paris and Washington. Macron wants to give advice to Lebanon? He's in no position to give advice. His own country has been engulfed in crisis. You've had the yellow vests demonstrating day after day, week after week. He hasn't been able to offer advice to his government how to solve that problem. Macron wants to give advice? It's his countryman, Francois-Georges Picot, who is the architect of this failed project in the Middle East, especially this Bantustan they call Lebanon. The inept politicians in Lebanon have created so much hopelessness amongst their own people that they are willing to go to their sworn enemy for help.
C'est inadmissible la corruption. Quand on apprend ça à l'école, comment ça fonctionne, on est outragé, on est choqué. Je suis dans un collège francophone. On nous apprend tout ce qui ne se passe pas dans ce pays. S'il vous plaît, un mandat ou bien un retournement de toute cette politique qui est tellement bien fermée, qui est tellement bien closue sur elle-même, on ne sait même pas comment les renverser. Vous avez le pouvoir de le faire, s'il vous plaît, faites-le.
And we know how France treats its own Muslim population, and we know the views France has about Islam, and we know how France behaved in the Bosnian War in the 90s. These former colonial masters and these former slave traders must think that Christmas has come early because those people that they colonized and persecuted are coming back to them for help. This is the real tragedy. The various factions in Lebanon that vie for power only do so to please the West and also to profit from it. Lebanon in particular became a cultural cesspit and a playground for the princes from the surrounding lands to come and party until the civil war broke out. Then it became a playground for the various Western-backed factions to fight one another, and that sectarian war is still ablaze in Lebanon today. So now, after all this, how is it possible that those who created these artificial states and installed these inherently weak political leaders, that we should go back to them to seek help and assistance to fix the problem? Umar radiallahu anh said that we were a disgraced people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honoured us with Islam, and if we seek honour through any other means, then again we will be disgraced. We can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help, but He has already given us the roadmap to the Siratul Mustaqim. We don't need directions from the West. He subhanahu wa ta'ala sent His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who followed the Siratul Mustaqim to Medina and established a new society. So we should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the courage and the confidence in our Darul Islam, in our Khilafah, so we can make that a reality. So then we can fly to London and Paris and save their people from their jahiliyyah of their economics and their morality. Like the way the Sahaba radiallahu anhum went from Medina to As-Shaam to save those people from the jahiliyyah of the Romans.